and wish you a very happy new year. This is our very first event of 2023, and we have a whole year of programming and connecting and engaging with you ahead. Our plan for today is to spend about the first half hour reviewing the different benefits and the resources that are available to you as a roundtable member. And then we're going to leave hopefully a nice chunk of time for people to meet each other, learn what your different roles are at your organizations. And what we'd love to hear is, what are you working on? What are the issues that have emerged for you? What are your priority projects for the coming year? I think one of the great benefits of the roundtable is we get to connect with and network with and learn from one another. And so we'd like to kind of start that opportunity right here today, time permitting. So I just wanted to see a show of hands. Who is this the very first meeting for? Because I see some new faces here. So we've got 1, 2, okay, potentially 3 people who have never attended a roundtable meeting before. So very excited to have you join us and to be part of this group. And I'll be telling you a little bit about the history of the roundtable and then what you can expect as a member. I'm joined today, and I'll let her say a quick hello, by our Assistant Director of Member Services, and that's Maddie Romance.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. Nice to see some of you again.
And I'm Jennifer Sabatini-Freone, the Director of Corporate Partnerships here at the Center. So I'm going to launch a quick presentation, and then we'll get to know each other a little bit more. Okay. So I'll give you a little overview of the center, talk about the member benefits for the roundtable, make sure you're aware of some upcoming events that you'll have access to, and then we'll get into the member introductions and the chat. So in terms of the team that we have here at the center, we like to say we're small but mighty. We get a lot done. With our small team led by Dr. Brad Harrington, who's a professor at the business school here at BC. He was an executive at Hewlett Packard for 20 years before he came to the center, so has both the corporate and the academic experience. Then there's Maddie and myself, and we're primarily responsible for interacting with the members and developing programming and resources for the members. Then rounding out the team, we have 2 senior research associates, Tina Lawler-McHugh and Kayla Vinas, and they work to develop a lot of the research reports and the briefings that we have available at the center. So you may have the opportunity to interact with them, sharing some best practices, or you certainly will be receiving access to the great reports and the resources that they put out. Julie Susi is our newest staff member, and she's in charge of all of the invoicing and the billing. So if you have questions about member dues or anything like that, Julie is a great resource. And we are very fortunate to be housed here at Boston College, where we have some exceptional students, and we always have several of them work with us each semester. This semester, we have 2 juniors, Lindsay Levine and Chloe Dawn, and we have a sophomore who's been with us since her freshman year, Mina Menon, and they all support the work that we do to assist our members with collecting research data, benchmarking, as well as assisting the research team with developing their reports. So the mission of the center is to work with employers to develop a learning community, and what we're really focused on is enhancing the employee experience. So we look at many different aspects of what the employee experience means, and I will dig into that in a minute. But our goal is really to bridge the worlds of research and corporate practice. So we'll often work with scholars at leading universities who are doing really innovative studies and bring those to you to share their data, to share what they've learned through doing that research. And then we listen to our members who are in the corporate sector to find out what they're grappling with. And we want to provide you with information so you can develop evidence-based workforce management practices. Here's a glimpse of the companies that we work with. You're all in very good company. You'll see a lot of household names there, a lot of organizations who are kind of best in class as employers, and across a broad range of industries. And we really see this as an asset because members who maybe normally benchmark just within, say, the insurance industry or big pharma are now interacting with people all across industries and can learn potential new ideas and solutions. But we're very proud of the relationships we've developed over the past 32 years. Some of these companies have been with us since the very beginning when we were founded in 1990. So the different areas that we work on that fall under that employee experience umbrella are work-life supports and caregiving, employee well-being, and most recently a very strong emphasis on mental health, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, flexible work models, and then career development and talent management. So most of the resources and the reports that we develop fall under one of these domains, or more frequently in recent times, we're seeing the intersectionality and the interdependency between these different issues when we think about how to best support employees. A little bit about member and center expectations. I think first and foremost, we want to emphasize that this community is an environment of trust and confidentiality. So you will find that members are very willing and open to share with one another. They share both their challenges and what they're experiencing that they may want to overcome, as well as different ideas and solutions. And we do ask that you maintain the confidentiality of that information. When Maddie starts talking about our benchmarking service, you'll hear how members are actually submitting into this portal, sometimes sensitive or maybe information that they don't want to get out into the public. And so we do remind members all the time, please don't distribute these materials. This is meant to stay within the member community, and we can really foster that environment where people are helping one another, their peers across organizations, when we're able to establish that sense of trust and confidentiality. So we believe that we are offering a community of, highly respected organizations that are really all committed to making progress. They want to improve their culture. They want to enhance the employee experience, and to become or maintain their status as an employer of choice. And we have a really open atmosphere for sharing of information. And we ask that you both request assistance from us, but also give assistance to other members in turn. And that really makes for a robust and collaborative community. So some of the benefits that we'll review today are our workforce roundtable events, the member-only website, the access to our team of staff, and the customized information services that we offer. So we'll briefly go through each of these. So our roundtable meetings are held twice each year. We used to have 2 in-person meetings each year. Then we moved completely to a virtual platform when the pandemic hit. And now, based on feedback from members in our recent member engagement survey, we've decided that the model going forward, at least for this next year, will be to have 1 in-person roundtable meeting in the fall and one virtual roundtable in the spring. And what those meetings look like are usually 2 days of content where we'll invite a couple of different thought leaders or professors to give keynote presentations. And then we pair those up with either discussion groups, member panels, where we'll ask several members to share their own experience on that topic, or potentially a member spotlight. So we really try to dig into the topics deeply and not jump very quickly from one to the next, but allow you the opportunity to really think about what you learned and how it can be applied when you go back into the workplace. So we have connections with scholars from around the world. We're always keeping tabs on who's doing really interesting research that can have impact in the workplace and curating lists of those keynote speakers to bring before you. Now, the meetings, as I said, are, one is in person, one is virtual. With both formats, we archive all of the materials from the meetings in case people aren't able to come. So we will have videos of the presentations, we'll have the presentation slides available, any articles that the presenters may have shared, and then our own staff team compiles a kind of a summary of the highlights of the meeting. So even if you weren't able to attend, you can have access to all of the great information that was learned throughout those 2 days. And we actually have those archived on our website for several years back. And in just a few minutes, Maddie is going to explain to you how to access those materials. Those are all accessible to you anytime on your own time if you want to explore them. In addition to those 2 big roundtables or conferences, if you will, that we have each year, we have monthly virtual events, and they take a number of different forms. When the pandemic started, we began what we call our Distinguished Speaker Series, and that features prominent professors from around the country. And we do that about 9 or 10 times a year. We kind of skip the summer for that. But throughout the year, you'll see different opportunities to hear from these thought leaders who will be sharing their latest scholarship and their latest points that they think you could take into your organization to help influence the work that you're doing. We also have what we call open forum sessions, and that's where the members are talking amongst each other. And oftentimes we'll pick a topic that we want to focus in on. For instance, during the pandemic, there were so many struggles for parents who were dealing with having children at home while they were working. We had several sessions where members could come together and share ideas for how to cope with that. Recently, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, members were trying to figure out how they were going to respond to that and to, create policies that would be of assistance to their employees. And we pulled together an open forum very quickly to bring members together for that. So those are often done on more of an ad hoc basis when members share a need or they share some dilemmas and want to come together to have a discussion. We also feature members on spotlight sessions, which are quick 30-minute, usually at lunchtime programs where a member will highlight something that they're proud of, that they've accomplished this past year. So members can learn and get new ideas to bring back to their organizations. We also host member panels. In December, we had a panel of 3 chief diversity officers from different companies sharing their thoughts about the future of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging efforts. Earlier last year, we had a panel of 3 mental health professionals from their respective organizations talking about their company's approach to mental health. So we do try to vary the topics a lot under those 5 key areas that I mentioned. In terms of research, we conduct large-scale studies every year or every other year. Our last one was the impact of expanded parental leave, and we partnered with 4 companies to go in and survey employees who had recently taken parental leave at those organizations about their experience, how much leave they took, how much support they received from their manager, what was their transition back into the workplace like, and that yielded a lot of terrific data. We're now just starting to embark on a new study that's going to focus on LGBTQ plus parents in the workplace. And so if that is an area of interest for you, I would encourage you to you can send a little note in the chat or send an email to me or Maddie. We're just starting to think about how we're going to roll that study out, but most likely it will involve some structured interviews with parents and employees who identify as LGBTQ, and we really want to better understand what their experience is in the workplace. Brad Harrington, who's our executive director, has led this New Dad research series for over a decade now, and although we've tried to reach LGBTQ dads, the number of them who have participated in those studies has been very small. And we often get a lot of questions about, what does this mean to gay dads? And so we've decided to further our investigation of that area. And we hope to partner with a few different companies to conduct that study. We also do executive briefings, and these are shorter form reports, usually about 12 pages long, where we'll dig into a particular topic and we will find the latest data, trends, and then we'll highlight company best practices. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see some of the recent topics that we've covered in that, and we're going to tell you, how you can find those on the website. And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to either Maddie or myself. A couple of new resources I wanted to highlight for you. The 2022 trends document is something that we're going to be renewing for 2023. It's in process right now, but each year we try to identify 5 or 6 key trends that we think our members should be aware of and provide you with some supporting data for those and ideas about potential solutions. I also wanted to highlight, because so many of our members are interested in mental health, the briefing that we did on mental health in the post-pandemic workplace. And to accompany that, we also have a tip sheet, which you can share with managers on managing burnout. And all of these publicly available resources can be shared throughout your organization. It's the proprietary information in the benchmarking reports that we ask you to keep confidential. We also have a tip sheet on making hybrid work, and then a progress report on women's career advancement that includes new and updated data. For March, for International Women's Day, we hope to refresh that again and provide you with the latest data on how women are faring in the workplace. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Maddie to share with you how to access the member-only website.
Thank you, Jennifer. So our members only website, as Jennifer mentioned, has all the proprietary information, including, as you can see here, our member directory, all of our information requests from members, and recordings and materials of our events. And so we have a new login for this year. The password is BCCWF23 and then the $. Don't worry about writing it down. We'll send you a follow-up email with all this information. If you have a colleague working on relevant work who can benefit from our resources, you can share this with them. But because we want to respect member privacy, we ask that you keep this password confidential and not share it outside your team. Something to look out for later this year is we will be moving to individual logins for each member so that our site can be even more secure, but we'll be in touch about that down the road. So we encourage you to click around on our website and get familiar with it. And if you have any questions, like Jennifer mentioned, please feel free. We'd be happy to help you. You can just send me a quick email and we can hop on a Zoom or whatever works best for you. Also, something I wanted to mention is you could please take some time after the session to take a look at our member directory, as we'll be updating this, and we would love for you to share your info if you don't already see your name there. So our members only website, this is what it looks like, for example, with past meeting information, as Jennifer mentioned. So here's our fall 2022 roundtable meeting information. So we put all the information leading up to the event there, and then also all the archived notes and recordings and any resources that were shared, you can have full access to, whether you attended or not. So we offer both custom member benchmarking and custom research requests. As members, you're welcome to reach out to us with either of these requests, and we will first go through our archives and send you what we have on the topic, which we can usually do immediately. And if you want us to go deeper, we usually can get a summary back to you in about 1 to 2 weeks. For the benchmarking requests, we will send out a survey to our members. And so we like to make sure that we give members ample time to respond. So that's why it takes a bit more. Benchmarking requests are a great way for members to stay connected and exchange valuable information. And our custom research requests are great if you're looking for more of data and trend analysis, as well as a synthesis of current research relevant to the topic. So here are some examples of requests we've received in recent years in our different areas of focus. So you can see that our members are really interested in a broad array of all of our topics, and really appreciate us going in depth. And so again, if you have any new things that you're working on and you would love more information on, we would love to help you with that. So you can just reach out to us with a request. So last fall, we launched a new benchmarking approach using Qualtrics. So we will send a survey out and through our listserv. So if you're not already on our listserv, would like to be added, please just email us and let us know. And you can see a sample here of what it looks like. So we'll just have a little background information and all the questions, and it's very user-friendly and a smooth user experience for our members, because we wanted to make it an easier process for all of you. So yeah, so you can see our email there, cwf@bc.edu, and just let us know if you would like to be added to our listserv. And we also, with that update, have a new summary format. So the first page will have background and high-level information and a couple graphics and key data points, and then as well as some additional resources and links for you to dig a little deeper on your own if you choose to do so. And then subsequent pages will be the member responses. And at the end of the report, we often also include other corporate examples that go beyond just our member pool, so you can have a wider look at what other companies are doing on the topic. And so this is what it looks like on our site. This is where all the info requests are housed on the member-only website. The benchmarking page is organized by topic, and the research requests by year. So again, just click around. If you're having any trouble, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you. And Jennifer, I think I'll hand it back to you to talk about what's coming up for the center.
That's great. Thank you, Maddie. So at the end of this month, we're starting our Distinguished Speaker Series for 2023. We have Professor Quinetta Roberson from Michigan State, and she is a DE&I scholar. She will be talking about moving from performative strategies, to authentic and impactful DE&I efforts. Then the next month will follow that with 2 professors who have just done a global study on the 4-day work week, and they did this with many different organizations in different countries, and got some really interesting results, both from the perspective of the employees and the employers, about the shift to a 4-day work week. So that should be a really interesting session. Starting in February, We are going to have a new, what we call monthly roundtable community forum. And that's going to be a more informal way for members to come together and talk about issues that are on their mind or things that they're struggling with. From month to month, we're going to vary the topics based on what the feedback from the members is. And this really came out of the member engagement survey, where there were some people who said, that they loved the speaker-led events, but they wanted more time to interact with other members and to learn from one another, and also having a stable time each month so they could get it on their calendar was something that they were looking for. So we will be kicking that off in February. Then in March, we're going to focus on trends in paid time off and really looking at some of the non-traditional paid time that companies are offering, like sabbaticals, like family or caregiving leave, mental health days, or other types of breaks for work that companies are employing in some cases to try to assist employees with caregiving responsibilities, but also to try to stave off some of the burnout that we all know is happening in the workplace. So that will feature a consultant from Brown & Brown, and then we'll have a few members also share their approach to different paid time off programs. And then I wanted you all to get it on your calendar. We don't have registration open yet, but the spring virtual roundtable meeting will be April 12th and 13th. And it'll be, 2 days, somewhere between 4 and 5 hours each day. So as much of those days as you can block off, the better. And we'll have a combination of interactive events as well as some keynote presentations during those 2 days. I also just wanted to tell you to keep a lookout for our 2 center newsletters. The centerpiece we send on an almost monthly basis, but when we have news to share, new publications, a blog that one of our senior staff members might write, and then the Roundtable Roundup is exclusively for Roundtable members, and every month it will give you at your fingertips all of the great summaries that Maddie has developed over the month for benchmarking and research, as well as quick links to all of the upcoming events. So if you want to add some more colleagues to the newsletter mailing list, you can just simply email cwf@bc.edu so that they can begin to receive those. And I'm just going to conclude, and I think we're kind of right on time with a few tips. So make attending the roundtable events a priority if you can. We know everybody is very busy and your time is valuable, but whenever you can, try to join us for those events. Review the monthly newsletters for what's coming up and any new resources that we have to share. If you have a benchmarking question, we encourage you to reach out and ask us. We may have something ready that we can send you immediately, or if not, we can help you formulate a request to send out to the other members to gather information. We hope you will contribute some best practices for our publications or potentially serve as a research site for a project. And really just keep in touch. If you have a new colleague, if you're working on a new project, if you have a new role, please reach out and share that with us so that we can keep our information updated and also potentially connect you with other members who are working on some of the same things. And so in closing, just wanted to share that we are pretty active on social media, and I would say that LinkedIn is our primary social media channel that we use. We have a page for the Boston College Center for Work and Family where we'll post different events, new publications, some short blogs or thought leadership pieces. And we have a presence on the other channels, but I would say if you needed to pick one, LinkedIn would be the best one. And here you have links to our email as well as the website. And right on the home page of our website, we have a little button at the top that says member login, and that's how you get to all of those great materials that Maddie has shared. So I'm going to get out of this presentation, and as Maddie said, we will be able to share that with you after. And then I would love it if people are able to put their cameras on. If you have that functionality, we'd love to get to meet you, hear a little bit more about what you're working on. Did any of the topics we mentioned resonate with you, and what areas you'd like to connect with other members about. And I'm going to put on my little glasses here because I see there's some comments and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. So, okay. All right, very good. And if you'd prefer not to speak out loud and you'd rather write some of your comments in the chat, we welcome that as well. If you'd like to share some of the topics that have emerged for you or your 2023 priorities, we're constantly collecting information to make sure the programs that we're putting on are aligned with what you're all working on. So I think if it's okay, since we have a few what I would call veteran members on here, I might have you begin. And Chris Pfeiffer, I think I'm looking at you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and a couple of your priority projects for the year.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I am Chris Pfeiffer. I'm the Director of Work, Life, and Wellbeing at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Centers here in New York area. We have 22,000 employees in this, mostly in this area, but because of the pandemic, now they're actually, the seeds have spread across the US. I was a member of the Boston College Center for Work and Family many years ago, for many years. And then I took a couple of career changes into the sort of the vendor side of things. And then now I'm back on the inside. So we immediately joined back up with the center. So happy to be back. And I'm thrilled to see Cherie Scarlett here. She's on my team and is new to the Boston College Center for Work and Family, learning all about all these wonderful resources, specialist in well-being. And we have a number of priorities. Unfortunately, a few days from now or next week, we're going to be going through reduction in force. Not huge, about 2.5% of the population is the jobs are being eliminated as we kind of trim and reform with a new CEO at our helm and new market conditions in the world of healthcare, as many of you are probably aware. So we're fiercely supporting that at the moment with on-site resources like employee assistance. We have, we've had a lot of different parts to play in the support as we've approached this date. It's public. It's been made. We're being very transparent about it. So I'm not telling you anything that isn't public knowledge. But we're looking forward to being on the other side of it and then focusing on some other bits and pieces, primarily well-being, emotional well-being. We have a guided well-being platform that we are looking to kind of do a 2.0 update on and make resources as relevant resources available to our folks. We're going to launch a challenge, a MOVE challenge in February to engage everybody in something positive and healthy. We also, my team has a lot of various responsibilities, including everything from lactation rooms to childcare. We have on-site, we've got backup, we've got many different programs. We do the service awards and values in action program, which is a peer-to-peer recognition program. So we touch everything in the work-life realm and in the well-being realm. So really wonderful to see new faces here and knowing that we've got some veterans still on the center. happy to always connect with anybody, either in benchmarking requests or one-on-one. Feel free to reach out to us if you want to just chat about, gosh, how are you approaching this or that? This is one of the wonderful things about being part of this group. So thanks so much for the intro, and looking forward to hearing some others.
Great, thank you. And it looks like we have a question from Catherine.
Hi, thank you so much. Well, I guess it is a little bit of a question. So I'm Catherine Barlett. I've been at MIT now for 13 years. I've always been in the area of wellness and well-being. I specifically work at Lincoln Laboratory, but I do work very closely with campus. Lincoln Laboratory is a federally funded defense FFRDC. We have about 5,000 employees. And I've had the privilege of really getting to connect with employees, because I think of the size, really one-on-one and face-to-face in a lot, because they did have to work throughout the pandemic on site. Obviously, we've been very, very heavily focused on mental health for the past 3 years, and that's certainly not going away. I think we've done a relatively good job of offering an incredible amount of resources, on-site counseling, you name it. I feel like we've really, really done a good job. What I've experienced in the past 6 to 8 months or so is this area of caregiving, where we have employees, male and female, maybe even more so female, feeling like we've gotten through COVID, but oh geez, my children are very behind. We've missed all of these appointments, we've sort of put off all of these milestones that they never caught up to, just trying to sort of play catch up and feeling extremely overwhelmed with the impact of, I have to be at a certain point in my career. Everything is semi back to normal, but my children are really sort of lagging. And then on the flip side, the same with their aging parents, who they've sort of also kind of put off, and they have an incredible amount of needs that have been put off for 3 years. So just wondering if sort of anyone's experienced that caregiving sort of clutch that they're in right now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can just start and then hand it off, but we feel that to a large extent. We hear it. Our working parents, ERN is one of the places where there is a really great community that's building around these issues, and we have very targeted speakers and webinars and supports for that group. In fact, we had Brad come and do a session on dads with that group this past year, which was really well received. I think, this is, my perspective on this is interesting after so many years. There's a way to provide, like, we can't handhold everybody. We can't take away their responsibility, and we shouldn't. But it's a fine line, right? We want to provide resources and areas for people to connect and work through these difficulties, because we can do that in the workplace, which is so wonderful. And yet, we can't take on it all. We can't, you can't take it all on. You want to provide this positive support, but not say it's up to us to solve these problems completely. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to hear what other people are doing around this. And certainly the EAP is a huge support here as well, and virtual counseling, a big help. But
does anybody else want to give a quick response to Catherine about caregivers within your organization?
Well, I don't know if you want me to talk about her caregiver relief, because you want me to talk about that a bit.
Give a little preview, Debbie.
Yeah. I can just give a snippet. Hi, Debbie Charon. I'm from AbbVie, and I work as a associate director on our benefits strategy team. So I'm more focused on kind of our general health and welfare benefits in the US than specifically on wellness, but a lot of our benefits obviously tie into wellness. And we just implemented in 2022 a paid caregiver leave that has a very generous just definition of who you as an employee could be taken care of. So it expands on that typical FMLA definition. And we've just seen a really nice uptake of employees that have used the benefit, and the types of family members that they've taken time off to care for. So that doesn't get exactly it. I feel like, Catherine, you were also talking about like just kind of the day-to-day issues with kids that are, you know, struggling or delayed because of what we've all been through with COVID. But we did also, we've got a lot of mental health supports in place, just like everyone else does. But we started, we just introduced a new EAP through LYRA this year, 2023. So it's only been in place for 12 days, but we are getting great positive feedback. I don't know if anyone else on this call is using LYRA, but yeah, it's been going really well. And we're using a model where there's a number of EAP sessions, and then it integrates right with the health plan. So all the providers are in our health plans in those networks as well. So it's a seamless, that's nice. And yeah, I mean, we there are other things that are coming up. I don't know if you wanted me to talk about our other priorities, but
Well, it maybe while you're
Yeah.
here, our time is starting to wane. So if you want
Yep,
to
yep. I was just thinking about there are other things that are coming up that are kind of interesting that we've been, that one of the things I wanted to ask others about, I don't know whether this would be benchmarking or research you guys are doing or what, but we are taking a look at our vacation policy. So we have a set number of days, and we currently don't have any ability to roll over. We actually want people to use their vacation days, and that's kind of we feel like it's important for people to unplug, you know, relax, recharge, all those things. However, what we just experienced at the end of 2022 was, you know, there's a number of states where you have to pay out for exempt employees if they don't use their days, including California. And we have quite a few employees in California, and we just had like an astronomical amount that we have to pay out from 2022. And what we don't know is, are people really not using their vacation days? Are they not tracking their vacation days? Or are there days that people would have taken off in the past before COVID that now, because we work more in a hybrid environment and things are virtual, are people just figuring out a way to juggle it all and not counting it as a vacation day? And so just curious if other people are experiencing that same challenge. Of course, for our non-exempts or hourly workers, we've always paid out to everybody at the end of the year if they haven't used their vacation days, but it's a little blurry with exempt level employees because, you know, I think we've figured out, you know, now if you're working from home 3 days a week and your kids get home from school at 3:00 and they're, you know, they're not 5 years old, but they're 8 or 10. So they need a parent in the house. In the past, you wouldn't have been home. So you would have had some kind of care for them, or they would have stayed at school. But now all these kids are coming home and people are working, and are people being as productive as they could be? Or, you know, what are they doing? So it's, that's been one of the things that we've been talking about also. Yeah. So, and then focus areas, I'm trying to see, we actually are having a big planning meeting next week because our list is way too long. So we can't do this list. This list is not possible. Yeah, I've got the vacation stuff. I would say our biggest focus area is around bringing better awareness to our employees of all of the programs that we have, making sure that people are aware of them, that they are easy to access, they are easy to use. We just keep using the word easy. We feel like we all have all of these, you know, we keep calling it the Cheesecake Factory menu of benefits and programs, and people just don't know what to order. You know, am I in the mood for Asian or am I in the mood for tacos today? Like, it's like people just don't know, and they don't know what they don't know. So, and it's kind of like you can't give it all to people right when they start with the company, because they might not be in that phase of life where they need that benefit at that time. So just working on that whole navigation and communication with employees that are so overloaded with so many communications. So that's a big focus.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Sure.
Maybe we can move to Brittany, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. So hi everyone. I'm Brittany Glenn. I'm a newbie here. So this is my first meeting. So just so you all know, I started with Organon back in November of 2021 on the Total Rewards team doing program delivery, engagement, experience, and about 3 months ago, I'd say, I transitioned over to the international benefits team. And that's where this whole Boston College forum and membership came to my attention. So first of all, I just wanted to say this overview was super helpful. And I know Jennifer and Maddie, we recently spoke because I reached out to you guys regarding like ERG resources and things like that. As far as Organon, or at least my specific responsibilities. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Organon actually spun off from Merck July of 2021. So now that we have about a year and a half or so under our belt, this is more of Organon's reevaluation year in a sense, right? So kind of taking a look at the contracts that we've simply copied over from Merck and figuring out, taking a look at what's working for us, right? Merck was like quadruple the size of what Organon is. What's working for us? What can we change for the remaining year that we have? To Debbie's point before, how can we leverage what we already have, such as making, having our employees, who we call our founders, take advantage of what's already out there. And then what do we need for the future, right? Again, reevaluating what do our founders want? What do they need? How can we help them now? And then how are we going to do that in the future? So I know I will be a part of this quite often. So again, just thank you all very much. And I'm sure we will be in touch.
Great. Thanks so much, Brittany.
Thank you.
Hannah, did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Hannah Shin. So I'm the employee mental well-being lead for North America at Johnson & Johnson. And so great to hear and just connect with you all. I'm hearing so many like similar threads of some of the things that we're kind of struggling with. So yeah, I've been in role for about 6 months. So really new to J&J. I'm a clinical psychologist by training. And so kind of switching from more of the kind of the clinical service and research and the program evaluation kind of experience into employee wellness when it comes to mental health and well-being. So similar to what I've heard today. So this is my first kind of quasi roundtable meeting. I've joined a couple like kind of more content sessions over the past few months. But yeah, I've heard just wonderful things that come out of the roundtable and learnings that we can have. I think similar to what maybe Catherine mentioned, I think a lot of our employees are feeling that same lag. And, we have things like, partially subsidized tutoring or kind of ways to address that lag and that stress, the caregiving stress. Similarly, we are actually just starting our implementation of an additional EAP provider. So it sounds like I heard Lyra, we're implementing Spring Health and in the middle of piloting that right now. And then similar to, I guess, Organon, our organization is going through a major change with Kenvue being our consumer health separation that just went live this past January 1st. And so kind of what Organon and Merck went through back in 2021, we're in the throes of it right now. So yeah, just really excited to be able to connect with other people and I'm kind of taking a listener learner's perspective with all of this. So thanks for having this space for us.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Cherie, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cherie. I work at MSK, as Christine mentioned, and we are really focused on the employee experience and the employee as a whole. And I think similar to what everyone is saying, we really want to focus on the reach. I think we have a lot of really great resources that are available for employees, whether it's their emotional well-being, their physical, etc. And just trying to figure out ways to reach both our desk and deskless desk employees and finding ways to make sure that whatever portion of their well-being they're looking to take part of, or the resources they're looking for, that they know that these resources are available. So what are the tools that we can place in front of them so that they'll know that, you know, these are the things they can utilize at the time that it's needed. So I think that's some of the things that Chris and I will be focusing on for this year as well, on top of the things that she's already mentioned.
Great, thank you. And I think, you know, we often are thinking about people who are always at a desk and in front of a computer. So I really appreciate the reminder of the deskless employees as well, and keeping them top of mind. So thank you for that. I'm not sure if Maria, Daria, and Naomi would like to chime in. If so, feel free to take yourself off mute, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, this is Naomi Tyre. Sorry that I'm not on camera, but I will be next time, I promise. I am from Northrop Grumman. So Northrop Grumman has been a member of the Center for Working Families, I think for a while, but I'm new in my role. So I am also in listening mode, coming up to speed. I am directing the workplace accommodations team and what we call our NG Care team. Our NG Care team covers both our employee assistance program, but also a lot of the policies and programs that this roundtable really focuses on. Debbie Edwards is often a face here, and I'm very fortunate because I'm coming into leading a team that's doing a great job at their job, and I'm having the pleasure of working with Debbie and others. So for me, I am only 12 days into leading this team, so I am truly getting up to speed, and so also appreciate hearing about the benefits offered by the roundtable and that learning mode. We are, as a company, really focused on continuing to support employees' mental health coming out of COVID, and being in 2023, that feels like a constant impact for us. And part of that, Sheree, I really appreciated what you said about the deskless employees, because we're really thinking about how do we reach those that are hard to reach. We've got a lot of great programs in place, but getting the programs in front of the right people at their moment of need, when they need these policies or resources, continues to be something that we're really focused on as we're thinking about both increasing utilization, but also making sure that our programs are utilized to increase employee retention, employees' productivity, but also their work-life balance and experience as well. So really happy to be here, happy to learn from this group, and looking forward to continuing to have that opportunity.
Great, thank you so much. And you do have a fantastic team there at Northrop Grumman, and we've loved interacting with them for many, many years now. So welcome.
Thank you, happy to be here.
Great. And Maria or Daria? Okay.
I don't know if Daria is going to chime in, but I will.
Okay.
So my name is Maria Oakes. I'm traveling today, so I'm taking this on a device that doesn't have a camera, so my apologies. I am a human resources business partner for a manufacturing company called IPG Photonics. We're located in Oxford, Massachusetts, Marlborough, Massachusetts. It's been a little while since I've been to a roundtable session, I'm sorry to say. Organizational wise, we have been in a flux of change for about the last 2 years. Everything from the passing of our founder and CEO unexpectedly, to new leadership, to workforce reduction. So we have just had a lot going on in a really short period of time. And we are a smaller company that grew really fast. So obviously with that, we don't necessarily have all the right resources in the right place at the right time. So these sessions will be helpful to just hear, what are other organizations doing? How can I see a fit for my organization to start talking to our leaders about what else we can do to enhance the employee experience?
That's great. Thanks so much for joining us. And I think we saw a little glimpse of you, Daria. I don't know if you wanted to hop on either just audio or video.
Absolutely. Hi everyone. My name is My name is Daria Bergen. Obviously, it's the first time I'm joining this forum, so I've found it extremely informative and helpful. I am also brand new in my role, so I don't know. I believe you worked with Marissa, who used to join this from Bristol Myers Squibb, right?
Yes.
So I'm basically replacing her as the global work-life programs lead, right? So I'm very excited to be working with all of you and learning more about what other companies are doing and how you're approaching this very dynamic space, right? So like I said, brand new. I've been with BMS for a while before that in the international benefits space, but more on the operational side of things. So excited to be learning more.
All right, great. Well, I just wanted to thank all of you for, being so open and participating in today's session. We look forward to having many more opportunities to connect with you. Maddie and I are always available if you want to just send an email, and the easiest way is CWF for Center for Work and Family @bc.edu. And one or both of us sometimes will respond to your request and try to get you all of the information that you need. Maddie, did you want to say anything else in closing?
No, just it was really great to meet all of you and really interested to hear all the things that you're working on, and don't hesitate to reach out to us because we're definitely a resource and we're here for you. And it was great to meet some of you today. So.
All right, well, have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see many of you at the end of the month at our Distinguished Speaker Series event. Take care.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.